Managing a customer from a paid trial through their paid trial to a membership has some challenges, but we believe that there are 5 key touch points along the way that'll help you maximize the conversion rate of people doing those trials through to membership. Now, obviously you can't control what's happening in their lives, but you can control everything that you do. So check out this graph, and I'm going to go through each of the 5 really key touch points and explain what we do and how you can use this to maximize your conversion rate. First class. Now, the first class of someone's paid trial is just as important as when they came in to check out your club, gave you a call, purchased the trial, whatever the process was to get them to this point. That first class is just as important. You still need to make sure that they feel welcome. What we do is actually use our system to actually book them in. Whether we do it via SMS or chat or in person, we then book them in for their first official class of their trial. That's the day that their periodic trial starts. For us, mostly 21 days. Now, it's really, really important that I go through the same process that you would do when they come in for a paid trial so that they feel welcome. But the language changes. So when we do it, obviously, if they're coming in for a free trial or complimentary pass, you're showing them around and getting them into it and then convincing them to sign up. The second one is more like, hey, welcome along. Welcome to your first official class. You kind of know what's going on here, but what I'm going to do is take you through the steps again just to make you feel comfortable. After today's class, you're free to book in or jump into any class or whatever your process is at your club, and welcome them in. If they're handing over to a different instructor, physically hand them over. Introduce them, say, hey, John, this is Tim, whatever the names are, to physically hand them over and say, awesome, good luck. If you get a chance to, have a chat with them after their first class. But what we also do is we mark them attended in the system, and they automatically get a follow-up the next day that says, hey, how was your first class? We think this is a really, really important step, and it shows with so many people responding to it how much they've enjoyed it. But it also fosters that sense of welcomeness and belonging to the community. Anyway, that's the first touch point. The end of the first week. We believe that this is a really important part too, particularly because sometimes some people feel a little bit lost. So with our first week follow-up, it's generally an SMS to the person that says, hey, how was your first week of training? Did you have any feedback for us? Or is there anything that we can do to make you feel comfortable? This one doesn't get as many responses, but I think that when you talk to people, they actually appreciate it. A few times customers talk to me and they say, I appreciate your follow-up the other day. They may not have responded to it, but they really appreciated the opportunity to feel that they were heard if they needed to be. It also gives an opportunity for those customers to really raise issues or any questions that they've got during that first week of training. We do this as an automated thing that's connected to their first official class, and it automatically goes through the system, and the date's triggered and things like that. And it's really, really important. It's personalized. It's not a generic, how was your first class? It literally says, hey, first name, going through it. We believe this is another important step for people to make them feel comfortable and welcome. The non-attendance checkup. Now, throughout the trial, before you do reviews and things like that, you should be checking people's attendance regularly. One system that we've set up is in our automations is if someone has not been turning up to classes, we move them to another thing, and it literally says, hey, Sarah, we haven't seen you in a little while. Is everything okay? And genuinely, will people come back to you if they're sick or they're traveling, they're away? And it gives you an opportunity to change the date. Offer them something that you wouldn't. Some people just say, hey, look, I know I've been away for a couple of days. I'll be back tomorrow. But it's a great prompt to keep people engaged. It's a really, really important step for you, because then if you see that they're not attending and they're not responding to that SMS that automatically goes out, you can follow up with a call and say, hey, we'd like to hear how you're going. It's really, really important. These people feel, the parents, the adults, they feel that we actually genuinely care. You're not just signed up for something and left to your own willness. Mid-trial reviews. Now, this is a really, really good one. We actually do these manually. So our system automatically reminds us that somebody's reached about the midpoint in their trial. So if they're 21-day trial, we set it for about day 10, day 12. This is a really important one because we will look at their attendance, look at how they're going, and literally reach out, not to say, do you want a membership, not to sell them anything, literally, hey, you're halfway through your trial. How's everything going? Do you have any questions? Do you need anything? Now, you might think, hang on, but I've done this at day 1 and I've done this at week 1. Absolutely, but those have all been automated SMS. Now's the time for a phone call. How are you going? What's doing? How are you feeling about everything? Again, it's really, really important that it doesn't have to come from you. It can come from one of the other team members. You can assign it to different people within the club to do it, but it's important that people feel that they're part of it. I've found that this is a really, really good opportunity to just ask people how they are. And a lot of the time, people genuinely actually come to you and say, hey, I'm really liking it. What do I need to do for membership? And I literally at that point don't necessarily send them anything. I say, hey, look, we'll follow up in a couple of days. Keep enjoying the programs and we'll go from there. But we will manage it internally to put a note saying that they've shown some interest. But the mid-trial review is very, very important. Finally, the membership offer. Now, whether they accept or decline at this point, it's useful. We know that if people ghost you and they don't follow up, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not interested. It means not right now. So what we tend to do is leave them in there and follow up in a week or so. But when we get to this membership offer, usually about 2/3 of the way, or day 14 out of 21, we actually don't say, here's the membership pricing. We say to them, hey, we really appreciate the time that you've been here. We've sent an email out that says, we really appreciate you. Would you be interested in a membership offer? And then we send an SMS out saying, hey, we've just sent you a really important email about your trial. Can you check it out and reply when you can? The reason we do that is that we ask if they would like some information. We don't assume. We found that little extra step, you can follow up with people. Hey, did you get it? Oh yeah, I got it. Or I haven't responded. No worries at all. But it's a great conversation because it makes people genuinely reach out to you and say, yeah, can you send me something? All right. So that wraps up the touch points during a trial program. Now, we believe genuinely those are really important. Our classes here, we average between 65 and 85% month to month. It varies, but in between that number of people who go from a paid trial to a membership. And it's really, really important that you follow through with these things, because I've found in my own experience over the last 13 years running this club that if I don't follow those steps, the conversion rate actually drops off over time and is genuinely noticeable. And these conversion rates are really, really important for you in terms of the revenue for your business and making sure that you're growing or even just replacing the members that you've lost. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this training video. More to come.